All right, so now let's start by building our project by specifically adding places. And this is one of the wonderful things for young learners is adding a place to a phenomenon you're learning, you're trying to understand. It really makes it more concrete and adds another really interesting connection that they can make to the content they're being exposed to in your class. So if you would follow my cursor over here, we have already given it a title, we've already given it a description, and now you see this blue button here that says new feature. We're going to search to add place. And the very first author I want to focus on, just because in all of my years in teaching and working with teachers, I've really come to marvel at the author Gary Soto. I really think that he does well at writing for a variety of age levels, and he's quite prolific. So I'd like to start with him. So I know that he was born in Fresno, California. So here, when you search to add place, you can put in the place name. It's important to note that you can search by latitude, longitude. So very important to think about in terms of what application this has for your students. You can also search by place in terms of not necessarily just a city, but like a landmark or something like that. So you can search by several different several different criteria. So here, Fresno, a city in California, excellent. I'm going to go ahead and click right on there. And you'll see, let me go ahead and move this right down here. You'll see that it already gives you what we call an information card over here to the right. If I like where I'm at, okay, I want Fresno, I want to start here by profiling Gary Soto, I can add to project. So I'm going to click right here on the card. It's called a knowledge card, add to project. And now what I want to do is make sure that I'm saving this place to the right project. I titled the project My Favorite Authors. I'm going to go ahead and give a title, place a title. There we are, Gary Soto's birthday, Fresno, California, and then I hit save. And now what you'll see is I have a new place. I have a new place for my project. Now, there's more that you can add, and this is what's really fun. So I'm going to go ahead and notice over here to the left, my cursor, I'm going to click on this place. Actually, I'm just going to hover over it, and you'll see that I have the ability to edit it. All right, now let's take a look here really at what you can do. Very first thing is, you notice that it had a knowledge card automatically provided by Google. And I'll go ahead and call your attention over here. It says information provided by Google. If you want to add your own description, your own images, your own videos, then what you do is you hit replace. All right, so let's talk about what you can add. And number one, you can add an image. And this is really cool because you can do it by Google image search. You can do it with YouTube videos and insert a video in there. You can also go from your Google Drive, okay, and down here select a file from your device. So think about the possibilities. Let's say that you are doing this favorite author project and you on Google Draw have them do some sort of a visual collage about that favorite author. They download then as an image file onto their computer, and then boom, right here, select a file from your device. They upload it right into their project. Really great opportunity to do that. So there's a lot of really neat things that they can add to there besides just a Google image search. They can add a video, their own images of their own choosing, as well as something from the internet. So let's do a real simple thing here. And I'm just going to go ahead and put Gary Soto. And here we have lots of images of him. A very common one that I've seen a lot is here with him in this red sweater. So I'm going to click and then bottom left, I'm going to hit select. And you see it then adds the image to the project after it's done processing. Great. You can add more. So let's see here. Maybe one thing we know is that Gary Soto, when he was young, was an avid baseball player. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on a Google image search baseball, and I'd like to go ahead. I'm going to use this image right here. And so it'll process and we'll be able to add it in just a second. and so on and so forth. And so remember, you can uh, make your own images in Google Draw. You can upload images from Google Image Search. You can add a YouTube video, you name it. Second thing I'd like to show you here is then a description. So here, when you finally present your project, for each place, you're going to want a description, okay? So let me go ahead and write in a description. Excellent. Now, what's great is that you can also do several things with this description. For example, I can change the size of the text, not necessarily into like font size 12 or 14, but I can change it into a font type. So I could change it from normal text to subheading. And so you see how that made that bigger there. And I have other choices as well. I can bold the text, italicize. And here's what's great is I can also add a link. So if, for example, I wanted to link the word Fresno to a particular URL, like maybe the Fresno Chamber of Commerce or the Visitors Bureau or something like that, then very easy to do. I can go ahead and enter the URL there. And when that's in, you can hit OK, and then it's linked in there. Another really cool thing is you can link to a feature in this document. In other words, if in fact you want to link to another place, for maybe if I wanted to, in the description I talked about the parents being from Mexican American heritage, being of Mexican heritage, maybe I want to link to Mexico, so that when I can link born to immigrants, or if I have the word Mexico, I can link that to another geographic location in Google Earth. Very easy, very cool to do. And there now I have a lot of interactive options. Notice here, over here in yellow, you have the place marker. Well, it doesn't have to look like that. You have a lot of place mark options where you can change based on what you're profiling. Maybe it's a church, or maybe it's a geographic feature, or maybe it's a place where a historical event has happened, or something like that. You can choose a placard to reflect that. And you can also up here change the color. And you also even have advanced options where you can look and change the the place marker in a lot of different ways. So that's really nice. Excellent. Now, with that, here's one other thing that you can do. So right now, in your trip, this is what viewers are going to see. But you're like, well, there's more to it. I really want them to see a slice of life living in Fresno. So notice down here to the bottom right, you can use your Street View Man, and if you click it and find any place in blue, look what happens. It takes it to a Street View image. All right, so here we are, and obviously we've landed at a church, which is just fantastic. And you have a 3D image. Now, if this is not a place where you want, you do see here that you can move into other places. And if in fact this does reflect where you are wanting to take the viewer, notice right here to the bottom left, this blue button, it says capture this view. So I click and capture this view, and now what I have is a place where Gary Soto is born. I have information about him. I've linked to it if I want to. I can customize my place name. And let's go ahead up to the top. Please see where my cursor is. Let's preview the presentation. I'm going to bring my image down here, and voila. All right. Now, the first place that people will go in this particular project that we're doing is Fresno, the birthplace of Gary Soto. It will take them to this image because I've wanted this image to be what folks see. And you'll see over here in the knowledge card, you've got the write-up that I've chosen. and several images that I included, which can include movies as well. So all of this has come from the ability to, over here, add a new feature. We searched to add place. And the next video, I'm going to focus on how we can add lines to create trips, to show travel, as well as then the ability to show regions.